We will start every module with a video. Please watch these. Some are shorter than others, some are longer than others, but they're going to give you the overview of the things that are in each module. I'm going to give you some tips, some reminders, and you may start to think after a few weeks, oh, it's just the same thing every week. But no, every module is going to have some nuggets that you will make sure you want to hear. I'll start this one out by saying that I love to change my background in some of these videos to places that I've been, maybe some fun photos that I've taken. This was actually taken in Alaska a year or so ago on a little trip down a fjord, right? So I like to share some of those along the way. Next, I'd like to say there's a lot to do this week. Not only are you getting started and comfortable and oriented to the course, but we're going to dive right into some math right away. This course has a lot packed into it. And this may be your very first college course that you've ever taken. Maybe you are near the end of your experience here at MCC. But whatever the case is, you may find math challenging or you may really love it. Everybody's going to be in different places here. So always keep in mind your purpose. What's your long-term goal? Where does this fit in? And how much are you going to have to sort of endure, maybe some struggle along the way to get it done and reach that goal? If it's a class subject that maybe is not your favorite, the things that we find to be not our favorite is usually where we need to spend a lot of our time and energy to make sure that we get through those. So I'm just going to kick off the content reminding you of those things. Now, before I walk you through what Module 1 looks like, I also want to give you a little overview of what the course itself is really all about, because there's often a little misunderstanding. This is math for elementary teachers. It's not how to teach math to elementary students. It's math that you need to know. It's math you need to be really comfortable with and have command over. Some students come to this class thinking that they're going to be learning math that you do in elementary schools or how to teach it, and that's not quite right. So what you need to keep in mind is it's going to be challenging. And you might think, why do we need to do challenging math in elementary math? Well, because for some people, that math is challenging. And you always need to have a good idea about where you're going. Why are we learning these things in second, third, fourth, fifth grade? Well, it's because they're building blocks for something bigger. And if you don't understand the bigger and better things, then you don't always know why you're learning the previous things. And you need to be able to convey that to your students. And so your job is to have a command of this information. So you're going to be building a foundational, deep understanding of the topics that are learned in elementary grades. Why properties of math exist the way they do, and different strategies for problem solving, other than just following rules and steps and algorithms, procedures. There's more to math than doing that. It's about finding patterns and thinking deeply. So I want you to leave this course with having good number sense and the ability to explain why mathematical ideas work the way they do. Let's dive into Blackboard now after my little bit of a rant there, an introduction. So let's take a look at your course in Blackboard. And when you first open up Blackboard right now, this is what it looks like. And hopefully you've watched that welcome video. Here, I'm going to point out if you ever need tech support, either with Blackboard or McGraw-Hill's Connect, here's the information, links, phone numbers, locations, etc. That's where you go. You're in an online course. You're going to be using a lot of this technology, and we need to make sure that it works. Let's open up the module now. You'll see a lot of things in here. This video. There's a syllabus. There's going to be a separate video about that syllabus. I'm going to be doing that video next. It's going to be added to this module between these two things, actually. We will talk about that later. Dates of testing windows. So there's a lot of information in the syllabus about testing and dates. This document gives you an overview of when the major assessments are done. There are windows, time frames between this point and this point when you need to complete certain things. There are competency tests that you need to take, and I give you 2 weeks to complete those. For example, Module 4 is the week of September 13th. The dates, I'm always starting them on Sundays for each week. It will open up Competency Test A on Thursday of that week. You'll have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the entire next week of September 20th, and then the first 4 days of the next week of September 27th, all the way through Wednesday. So you have 2 weeks to get that test done. It is one that you have 4 chances to take. So you need to fit four, maybe one. The goal is to get a 90%. You have 4 chances to do that. The same is true for all the other competency tests. The 2 exams, midterm and final, you have the week to do the midterm and actually 2 weeks to get the final exam done. So you must complete those at any point during those time frames. So that might be something you want to print out, stick around your wall, keep with you. There is a little reflection to do. This is a private response. It's an introductory survey. Your results will only come to me. You are going to, that's their first get to know each other activity. We'll have some of those in each of the first few weeks. The first one is a fairly simple one. The next one, getting started with Connect. You are going to be using a McGraw-Hill product online to do some homework, and this is going to show you how you get started with that. Once you're in, your first assignment is worth actually 5 bonus points, and it is watching several videos orienting you to the Connect homework and the SmartBook process. There are 2 things you're going to be doing on the Connect platform. SmartBook is answering some questions from the textbook, and homework is just that, practice problems. Here's that very first graded assignment having to do with actual math, the SmartBook. Notice I have that listed before any of these other things having to do with learning the material. I much prefer you to try these things first. It's going to lead you through the textbook. You need to read textbooks in college. And ask you questions related to the material, see what you know and what you don't know, take you to certain spots in the textbook, show you the information, and then you can go back in. There will be more information about that in some of these videos here. Every week, I'm going to provide supplementary PowerPoint slides. You do not need to use them. There are 2 sections in our textbook that we're doing in chapter module 1, sections 1.1 and 1.2, and they have slides that the publisher created. I didn't create these. I'm just providing them to you as an additional resource. And if some people like to print these out, some people like to just have them open. It's completely up to you how you want to use those. But my videos, my instructional videos that you see here often go along with the information on those slides. So again, these are just an extra resource for you. But maybe the most important thing you do, where you might spend a lot of your time, is watching these videos. These were created all by me. And each video or each section has several videos linked to it based on the time and the content. You'll see there are 3 videos here for section 1.1. Feel free to adjust the speed on those. Treat it like you are sitting in class. Break it up, right? To watch one video at a time. Take some notes. Then there's videos for section 1.2. There's 3 of those as well. Once you've done that, then I would suggest moving on to the chapter 1 homework. So that's where you're going to go practice problems, try new things, really dig into the material. Okay? Keep in mind what I say here. Some of these questions, particularly in these early chapters, are about problem solving. They're really going to make you think, and that might be messy. It's not always going to be easy. There's not always one correct way to solve them. Take risks, be brave, think creatively. I think that's an underutilized message in math class. Finally, I provide a link to what is called Brain Fuse. Brain Fuse is our college's online live tutoring. It's 24/7 for most subjects. Now, they're not our students. This is something that we've outsourced. We do have tutoring on campus, but this is an online class. I know not all of you are coming to campus. So if you want to, if you need a little help, you can use our Brain Fuse live tutoring. There's some information here about how to do that. I'd love to get your feedback since it's a somewhat new service that we've tried. So if you try it, Let me know how that goes. There's your overview of Module 1. Again, there's a lot of content this week. Be sure to watch the video about the syllabus and read through that carefully. I hope that I've cleared things up and given you a good overview of this first module. We will talk soon.